two, check 1 2. Hey guys, there we go. Check, check, check. How are we sounding now? We sound a little better now? Should be sounding better now. That's good. That's good. All right. That's better. Had the volume too low there. My apologies. All right. How's everybody doing today? Thank you guys so much for joining me. It is Thursday, January 10th, 2019. I keep signing 2018. Any of us having the same problem? Guys, this is Big Chonis. Let's talk some Bitcoin. Remember, you guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonis. I'm a cryptocurrency trader, an investor, a mentor, a chart psychologist. I'm also a featured contributor to Bitcoin Live. Please do your own research. You guys are all adults. This is not financial advice. These are all just my best ideas and thoughts and technical analysis based on what I'm seeing in the charts. I'm also doing a Q&A tonight with Big Cheds, and I'll tweet out some more information about that later on in the day on Twitter. And also, I am still taking on new students for my online personalized mentoring. It's a great way that you and I, one-on-one via Skype, can basically talk about any questions you have in regard to trading. We can go over some of the indicators I like to use and some of the trade setups and talk about different trading techniques, how to spot buy and sell signals, an analysis on any coin you would like, and basically an open forum that we can basically talk about some of the questions you may have. Please feel free to reach out to me on DM or email me, bigchonis@gmail.com. And as always, guys, Super Chat is activated. Tips are always appreciated. If anybody has any chart requests, just let me know. And let's go into what we're seeing here on the price action of Bitcoin. But before I do that, I want to do a shout out to my friends here in the chat room. Erroneous Emu, DK Chef, Michael Morton, SS Swartz 88. Hey, always a fan to see you there, buddy. Don Engoat, Red Baron 8419. Paul Hodgson, hello, my friends. AT Simon, hello, good sir, to you. Andy, hey, Will, hey, Bart. What's going on, guys? Hello, Miguel. Hello, Simon. Hello, Jan Bas Walhoff. Who else we got here? Who else we got? Gone Mash. What's up, people? What's up, my friends? Raw Ruck. Hey, all right. What's up, guys? All right, so listen. That escalated quickly, didn't it? It wasn't but a little more than 12 hours ago when we were talking last, and we were watching, a stable Bitcoin allowing a lot of our altcoins to run. Tron, Lumen looked good. ADA was starting to move, and the angle of Bitcoin here seemed very promising. Like we were going to do that advance we were all waiting for. The triangle was tightening. We were still hitting up against that declining neckline resistance, and all signs still pointed to moving up, except for one key factor. That was our volume profile. It was still very suspect over this entire move here. Then last night we had the major bear break here, consolidation hold, and whenever I see this here after something like this, you just knew there was another leg in this here. So I want to talk a little bit about why we've stopped where we stopped currently, and we have to basically redo a lot of our facts and figures based on this major break, because this throws a lot of our bullish scenarios out of whack. Now, I really want to start with, this is actually a tweet I put out, and I got a pin right now because it was pretty accurate in terms of this major resistance line, a line that is held since BitK 20K, okay, and a line that basically was retested and found to be very strong resistance at around 6,500. And once again, the past couple days, we were riding up against it. Now, 2 days ago, we actually broke through intraday, got a very strong rejection here on this like Darth Maul candle. And then yesterday's price action intraday, once again, we were riding up against it prepared to potentially break through it. And then there is that rejection. Very consistent still with this linear line of resistance, okay, acting as major resistance. Now, this is linear. The reason I'm specifying that is because if you look at this chart in log, this line is completely irrelevant, and we've been seeing this disparages where the linear and the log have different. The price action seems to respect both, but just in different ways, and I'll talk about that soon enough. So let me go back to my linear here, and we just have to keep note of how very strong this line is, as we were set up here at our 20K. We tried to break through it here at 64, and once again, got our hand slapped. Bitcoin got its hand slapped here right at this very strong, now confirmed resistance line. And let's face it, this line holds. Bitcoin doesn't break through, doesn't change the topic, doesn't change the trend, doesn't create a situation here where we're advancing out of this bear market. Now, a couple scenarios that still have to be kept in mind. Even if we were able to break through it, either it was this move or sometime in the future here, I would obviously be looking for some sort of a back test, whereas we kind of do a little sideways, eventually break through it. You want to see a nice back test of a major resistance line confirmed as now support before we can kind of crawl higher. That's still the scenario I'm looking to play out. The question is, when will this line be actually breached? We were close this time, but the bears had a very firm grasp on that resistance. Boom. Okay. Now, why have we stopped currently where we are? This is the daily candle. Okay. Really nasty daily candle. And listen, quantify this daily candle. Okay. It's hard to quantify this move with these moves here because this was so pent up on the sideways 6K price action. These volatile moves here were just baked in, I'd be very surprised if we had a move that like more than what we have now. What are we at now? We're basically down $400 and change. This was 500. This is like a $700 move here. I'd honestly be very surprised if today's candle, at least, we fell dramatically more than where we're currently finding support here. I'm actually thinking support here for the meantime should actually be looking pretty good. And there's a couple reasons why. Let me go to a lower time frame here than my 6-hour chart. Okay, so we talk about swing highs and swing lows and Fibonacci retracements and areas where we expect to find initial support. And we like to find when those areas where the Fibonacci say should be initial support also align with price history areas of support, where once was areas of resistance become areas of support. So what am I referring to here? I'm referring to, I should have my box triangle. There we go. Okay, so major resistance here. Major resistance here became major support here. Because that was resistance, I should actually make this red. Red. Okay, so what we're defining here is what was major resistance was now not back tested as support and then confirmed as support with this nice bullish impulse move off of it. So what was resistance is now support. Now, right now, where we are currently finding support, which I have to draw green for the moment here, is in the same area there. So it's a stop and reverse area. Here's your stop, break through, here's the reverse, back test confirmed, current back test confirmed. Now, well, what else makes this area very special? Well, if we do a Fibonacci retracement from our most recent swing low to still our most recent top swing high here, $4,400, I'm on Coinbase USD. We see we actually had found support right at, and I mean right at, 61.8 fib retracement level, 35.57, and so far our blow today is 35.60. So within a couple bucks, okay, of that area where as traders, as we use our Fibonacci's properly, we can basically assume that there will be buyers in this area. And sure enough, for now, we are seeing that. Now, the 6 hour, let me just clear this up here. Just looking at this from a 6 hour perspective, okay, to basically fall this quickly in this 6 hour candles here, what are we comparing this to? Well, we can look back something like this where we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red 6 hour candles in a row here, sideways price action, then again. But only the last one here was the really big one. To have two really back to back here, this move has reset a lot of our indicators that were ranging very nice and higher, and now have basically fallen into that negative area here of, I wouldn't say oversold, but more of a weaker price action here. Now, a couple divergences we were also seeing on some higher time frames here. We have a declining RSI here. While our price was basically ranging in this area here, we were losing that bullish momentum, and we were seeing our volume profile just not really kicking in the way we wanted to. To basically see that extension happen. But this bearish move, what's it done? It's reset a lot of indicators, stochastic here, okay, getting close to our zero line. Now on the 6 hour, we tend to not stay down here very long. These don't necessarily mark the bottoms in price, but at least it marks the trend change. So allowing us to get down here very quickly in these areas here to find the sense of initial oversold price conditions, using that as support and trying to equate that as a bounce. Question is, let's face it, are we out of the woods yet? Is this an area here where we want to start scaling in? Now, based on this support area here and the rapidity of back-to-back 6 hour brutal candles here, where Bitcoin price action falls 11% in a 12-hour period. That's been a while since we've basically done something that quickly in a 12-hour period. I'm almost need to refer to something like this candle here, where 6, 12, yeah, this was similar situation here. We actually fell a little bit more. So it's been a while. It's been since November since we've had that much of a bearish move in such a very quick amount of time. Now, what happened then is we had a very nice oversold bounce, a double test at the bottom here, a nicer bounce, and then actually put in lower lows. So does this mark a temporary bottom area? Personally, I believe it does, but that doesn't mean that we can't go sideways for a very long time while our oversold indicators slowly begin to rise and not be so extreme in the negative as they currently are. Yes. Let's go to the 4 hour here and take a look at where we are here. Oh, first tip of the day, Robot Joe. Oh, buddy, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. All right, now I can buy some lunch. My brother, much appreciated, my friend. All right, so 4 hour RSI, okay, at 22, very low. Last time we were down here, December 6th, 23. Okay, so we tend to find supports in this area, and this thing just fell off a cliff. It just fell off a cliff here. Okay, so still signs point to having this area and the ability of it to have a correction hold in this area just because of recent areas of support. OBV on the 4 hour, right here at this lower bottom apex. What do these little quick apexes tell you when we break bearish? Okay, I mean, I definitely would refer to this one in here as basically you get a quick slingshot back here. So we're still not seeing, other than maybe a slowdown in the bearishness here, we're still not seeing that turnaround just yet. But this is an area here because of our oversold conditions where you'd want to see that support. CMF on the 4 hour, just tank through. We were actually watching this line of support here, but getting to an area. Resistance becomes support. So yeah, again, there's history in this area to find the support. And this is all just coinciding with the fact that stability for now, for now should be found in this area. So I want to go back to the daily again, and let's clean up the chart, and let's talk about some of our major indicators. Now, I haven't done an EMAs analysis in a little bit here, so I want to bring these guys up, and I want to talk about our bull cross that we had a couple days ago, because on the daily, this was the first time that the daily here had crossed. We had this nice bullish move, expansion here, and now what we're watching here in this candle, is that we're just, let's do this. Let's hide this here. I can see a little better. There we go. So you can see how very close, okay, our daily EMAs are still in a bullish trade here, because on the daily they've yet to bear cross. They're still holding, even with that massive drop in we just saw in the price of Bitcoin here. They haven't completely crossed yet, so that's still a sense of a bullish sign overall, because this is the daily, because it was the last one to cross. We're holding that for now, but it's a different story on the 12-hour. Actually, it's a similar story on the 12-hour. I take that back. After our bull cross here, had a couple times here where we could have fallen through, but we didn't. And once again, we're still holding our bull cross on our 12-hour, even though we're had that big pullback. Also note some of the things I also like to watch for on my EMAs is the spacing, the extremes of distance between them. Very oversold, relatively overbought. Now we have this as an analysis here. Getting a little frothy here was kind of a sign that we were a little too extended on the 12-hour, which I consider a higher time frame, and that a pullback is needed. So we're still bullish on the daily. We're still bullish on the 12-hour because we've yet to bear cross. What is the 6-hour? Now the 6-hour, we are bear crossing. You see what I'm talking about here. Okay, now we did this a little bit here, little loop-de-loop in here, held, expansion. Okay, now this is a bear cross here, and we got 4 hours left. We're just doing it now. In 4 hours, it is possible that the EMA 12 can come back above the 26, but on the 6-hour, we can see that bear cross is now confirmed, and I'm sure on the 4-hour very similar as well. So the lower we get in our time frame, we're basically seeing that bear cross confirmed. Same with our hourly here. Okay, but just as we went to bullish here with our EMA 12 being higher than our EMA 26, we're kind of watch here how bearish and oversold we can be when our EMA 12 is too low from our EMA 26. Something we'll keep an eye on here to get a sense of the extremes. Oversold, overbought, oversold, maybe yet. We're still, look at the spacing here. It's all about the spacing. Okay, and comparably speaking here, this is a very bearish move here on the 1 hour because of how spread out we are. Still too early on the 4, and we see that the 12, the daily, and I don't even think the 3-day crossed, did it? Yeah, the 3-day hasn't even. 3 days way spread out here, so still nothing big on the 3-day, and I know the weekly is still very separated as well. So it's important to get time frame perspective and to keep time frame perspective in mind when you're thinking about your overall analysis of Bitcoin here. So let's bring back our candles here, and now we're going to do the reverse. So we're talking about areas that used to be support, and now there are areas acting as resistance. So our weekly, we can see our first target bullishly is $4,400 still, because that's where our EMA 12 is on our weekly, falling as well. High time frame, okay. I expect resistance here, as it was very strong resistance here before we broke bearish. 3-day. After achieving EMA 12 support for 1-2 candles, we've now lost it. Getting back above still puts us around the $3,900 area. Again, $4,400 is right where our EMA 26 there is on our 3-day here. We talked about our daily and our crosses here, and then our 12 as well. So we're talking about areas that were once support, using the EMA 12 and 26 as support, are now acting as resistance. So keep an eye on these, because when we reverse course and try and do a bullish retest, these are the EMAs we'll be watching to see how the price interacts with them, and we can kind of see a correlation as the price moves down. These will follow down with it. Okay, so let's get rid of our EMAs for just a moment here. I want to do kind of a higher time frame perspective. I want to bring up my MA 100, 50, and 200. And I want to go back to my daily chart here. All right, so let's talk about our MA50 here for a moment. This purple line here, this is our MA50. And we see a couple things here. Resistance, resistance. I think I put a tweet about this a couple days ago, about the first initial tap of a major MA on a high time frame as the daily. Resistance expected, broke through, failed to hold it as support. We wanted to see a back test of this, which would have held the 3760 area. That was actually our first stop on this bear break before we broke through it. Again, still, it's meaningful that an area of resistance that was achieved should still act as an area of back testing support. So at some point, remember, this comes down, this could be achieved as support again. MA 100 on the daily is at 5K, and the 200 is at 58. Now, this looks a little different on a higher time frame here. We all remember a couple weeks ago how strong our MA 200 played in terms of supporting Bitcoin's price action. Intra-candle here on the weekly, we broke below it. That was our bottom for now. Big bounce above it there. So MA 200. Now, this is our 100, and this is our 50 here. And you see what's happening here. Our 50 and our 100, they're coming together at some point. This is dropping. The 50 is dropping quite rapidly here, because this drop in the 50 is reacting to this drop. Remember, it's 50 periods back on the weekly, so it's a year back, and because it's now over the hump, this is going to fall very rapidly, and the 100 isn't even began to fall yet here. So at some point in the next couple weeks, if this trend continues, there could be some sort of a I'm not going to call it a death cross, but another bear cross of EMAs if the 50 falls through the 100. Which for now it looks like it's still lined up to do something like that in mid-February or so, regardless really of what happens here, because this 50 coming down is based on this price action here, and see how quickly this fell. The 50 is going to fall like a rock very quickly here. Have a sip of my drink. All right, who else is joining me here in the chat room? What's up, Max? How's it going? Kerno Jim. Hello, my friend. Krister. No worries, buddy. No worries. Hey, Liberty. How's it going? How's it going? Hello, Eugene. And trying to. Okay, thanks for doing that. What's up, Bruno? What's up, buddy? All right, 94 of my closest friends here on this Thursday afternoon. East Coast USA, where I am right now, just watching some Bitcoin price action here. All right, so let's talk about the hourly chart now and get a sense of kind of what's going on here. About 13 minutes left to go in this hourly chart. Okay, now so far we've had, a little bit of a bounce here from our 618, okay, to where we are here, about an $80 bounce so far, a little 2% on the price action here, only because this area, as I talked about earlier in the show, is that very strong support area corresponding with the previous price history and the major 61.8 Fibonacci retrace from our most recent swing low to swing high. What are our daily RSI? So look at this here. This looked like an ascending triangle, and it looked like we were positioned to break above. What's up, BK? What's up? Namaste. 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 But boom. Now, interestingly enough, I still would not be surprised if we did some sort of kind of a comeuppance here and try and backtest here. I would not be surprised, but that would be a big move, especially on a daily chart. But this area of support, break. What are we holding here? Horizontal. 43. So we're right, wow, we're right at that apex used to be there, aren't we? Right there. Because that marked the apex there. So basically, we hit 43 on December 27th. Looks like 42. And now we're back testing it. So this is our first area that did find support. We claim above, we back test, found support. Now we're back testing. What does this mean? It means that 42 on the daily RSI is holding for now. But it also means that there's free air to fall bearishly if this doesn't hold to our next major area of support, which would be right here at 34. And this was a big move. That would be a big move. And I'd be shocked to fall that quickly before a little bit of chop, just because of how quickly this initial move has actually fallen. Okay. Hey, Darius. What's up, brother? All right. So what else we got here? Our Stoke. Now, we're talking about the potential of another double loop-de-loop here, but that didn't happen. Let's get rid of these guys, get rid of these guys. So here's our big drop in our leading. Our trailing, though, you know, even with this massive move, we're still in a very bullish sense here. Not bullish, I should rephrase that. Because we're over 80 still on our leading indicator, okay, this move actually shows that the support that could potentially be found in this area will allow this blue line here to at least find stability, still putting in this higher high, which we also have to keep an eye on. Look at this trend here. You know, I almost want to do an arc curve. Let me bring this in a little bit here, bring this out a little bit here. Okay, so we're still putting in this ascending curve here. Different color. Nope. Orange, it's all right. Okay, of this higher low, okay, in our Stoke. And that's interesting there, okay? Because what this means here is that our blue line, our leading indicator, the one that's going to react the quickest, it needs to basically hold in this area here. And you see how the last time it had to hold to allow the trailing to come down and catch up to it before they both were able to find support on this ascending arc. This ascending arc can still keep a chance of another tap up here before more of a fuller reset. And our daily, we have not had a fuller reset until since mid-November there. So it's definitely been quite a while since that full reset happened on our Stoke. Now, what did this do to our MACD? We're talking about 31 bars, and this is something that has been pretty accurate about how much time bullishly recently we're actually up here when we have our big bullish moves around 31, 32, 33, 30, 26. Okay, so this was an example here where we're day 32 and it looks like we're very much on the edge here of losing our positive histogram. Now, by resetting this in the zero, this definitely could help us reset that trend, you know, and allow us to potentially extend for a higher continuation. Okay, we still have our leading indicator here, move this higher, above the zero line, and we have our trailing indicator not there yet. Now, we talked about how very similar this area here of resistance was when both our indicators got right to our zero line, right? And just got smacked down. But clearly a much different histogram profile from what we just saw there. So, you know, this was a big full cycle here. You know, it really reminds me of something like we did a full uppance. We've come fully down, we've come fully up. And because of that, I almost feel like it just feels like it'd be hard pressed, I feel, to keep ranging higher before somewhat of a more decent correction, okay, to just correct from this. Because so far, every time we seem to do a big arc, we do come back. You know, some arcs are bigger than others, Okay, obviously this one here, this February bottom of bearish Bitcoin, when we went from 13K to 6K very quickly, tremendo bounce. Okay, we see a difference here, but we see that that bounce brought us to a low, it was a lower low in the price action, but it brought us more or less to where we had started this big decline here on the MACD. And now we're seeing a very similar. We've gotten back up to where we started the decline, which means this area here where we currently are shows a major resistance area. We're talking about our OBV oscillator and how, again, this is a good thing about time cycles, 20 bars, 16 bars, 19 bars. Okay, so we knew we were getting really frothy here as we got our 20 bars here. Even though we had a little tap of a reset here, we were due for some sort of a more definitive correction. Whew. All right, checking back in the chat room here. Hodl LTC, what's up, buddy? Yeah, a lot of Bitcoin, BitMEX longs were liquidated. Remember, guys, I am Big Chonis, talking some Bitcoin here. Remember, Super Chat is active. Tips are always appreciated. All right, checking out, since you brought it up there, buddy, let's check out our longs and shorts and see what we're looking at here. Longs and shorts. Okay, so what happened with BTC longs? Now, we were talking about the scenario here that longs were very high here. And listen, if Bitcoin was able to break out of 4,200 or 44, a lot of these longs were going to be well in the money here. And normally when that situation is happening, you actually see the market kind of set them back and kind of basically slap their hand. Now we did have this triangle here. This was a pennant, and listen, but this was more of a symmetric triangle. And when you get a symmetric triangle, listen, it's a 50-50. Depending upon the setup, it's a 51-49. Because of how bullish this was, it was leaning towards. It was so subjective because we still had running room to retest our previous resistance, and yet, the expansion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gorgeous green candles in a row of longs loading up. Okay, bearish engulfing. This was your first sign, plus this shooting star here again on top of the trend, and now this became almost a bear flag. Boom, boom, fall through. So what are we talking about? This move is that we're finding support. Not quite yet, but I want to keep an eye on this area here. Let me get that fatter. Because this was resistance, candle resistance, candle resistance, and it could act as strong support if the longs need to find a base of support if they keep capitulating here on this move here. This took a lot of longs out. Obviously, a lot of people were on the wrong side of that trade there. Okay, but that basically happened, that they have a little support room to go, and I expect this area to actually hold. Shorts. Finally, okay, so finally, now we were talking about the line of volatility, because this line and touching this line, here, here, and here, have produced a major spike up here. Now, the spike up is corresponding to a bearish Bitcoin move. Okay, when Bitcoin shorts are rising, more or less it's a bearish move price in Bitcoin, or Bitcoin on the bullish end gets a little too frothy. We aren't really seeing that yet. Now the issue now is that shorts, because of this move here, they have some running room. They have some running room now, going up. Now I'd still like to test my line of volatility. Okay, to get a better confirmation that this is a bottoming area. Obviously, we don't always hit it to get that support. This one is actually an area here where we came short. This was an area here we came short. So, it's hard to say if this bounce is another one of these bounces where we don't quite make it, but we still find that momentum, or if we just have one more leg to go down here before we get that more definitive bounce. And for that to happen, for shorts to basically lose this green candle here in the next coming days, we'd actually have to see a more of a bullish Bitcoin. more of a bounce than just this current correction we're seeing. But for now, shorts are definitely feeling it. The ones that loaded early in the day are in profit, and you're seeing them increase their positions here. So they're not taking the foot off the gas in any capacity yet. Litecoin shorts are taking some money off the table right now. Litecoin longs, this candle here was kind of all you need to know a few days ago. They had already kind of taken most of their position off the table. And if you were still holding that, you got your slapped. ETH longs, again, this has been a days long events here. We've been seeing this happen for days. You just knew the ETH longs were very tired, and the ETH shorts, were not convinced that this was going to totally break bearish, but now you can see they're looking like they want to add a little bit to this here. But again, ETH is tricky because of the fork, and now the fork is only 6 days away or so, right? Constantinople, for some reason. Okay, let's go back to Bitcoin. Go back to the 1 hour. Seeing the move here. Okay, so we'll get a minute left. This hourly candle here. Now, I noticed something when I did a TD earlier today. I think it was the 4 hour. Yeah, the 4 hour is on a red 8. And when we do a TD count, we like for 9s, obviously, but the 8 or the 9, if the 8 candle looks the way it does, could be a nice sign here that we're getting close in this move for that bottoming support area. Now, to get the 9, which we're guaranteed here, will maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Next 4 hour candle closes below $3,800, which probably will. We'll get our 9 count here. But it definitely seems like for now a potential that our 8 candle is actually our bottom in this zone here. What's our 6? 6, we're on a red 3. 12 is a red 3. See, now this is interesting here because our daily, I had my 50 there. We were beginning to make a nice 1, 2, 3, 4 continuation here. This is totally going to kill that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're not closing above 4K today. Probably not, at least. So we basically definitely had a price flip here on our daily TD, and have running room for that as well. We've also lost our bull count on our 3-day. And our weekly is still in a green 2 until when? 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we're definitely gonna put in a green 2. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're definitely gonna put in a green 2 because we're probably gonna close above $3,200 this week. But next week we have to close above 39, and that could be another price flip on the weekly chart that would definitely denote that that the hedgehog has seen his shadow, and we have many more months of bearish winter upon us. And just what does the monthly look like? Just in curiosity here. Remember, we're still on our red 6 on our monthly, and the monthly chart's the one I'm really kind of, from a TD standpoint, over a long-term trend. You have to keep an eye on this 6 here. We are a third of the way through the month. Not the best looking monthly candle, but still lots of time here to make this look a lot better. But because we're on a red 6 and we have running room, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we can definitely put in a 9 on the monthly. We're setting up for it as long as we stay in the let's call it sub 4K range over the next couple several weeks here into this cycle here. And wouldn't it be great to bottom on a really just nasty 9 on the monthly that on the highest of time frames could give us a sense that we're changing in direction. Go to my TD here, and I'm going to leave up my favorite indicator, my Bollinger Bands. So monthly, still very wide here. Don't like this. Note our lower BB, a little bit under 1,000, like right at 1,000 here. Okay. At some point, our lower Bollinger and our price action will touch. Okay. will touch, I guarantee it. JF Airplane, what's up, buddy? Hello, hello to you as well. Weekly. Okay. Lower BB, 2,700. So, oh, this is interesting here. So we're still losing. We're still putting in lower lows on our weekly lower Bollinger Band. Middle BB still 5,300 and falling. This is going to accelerate too. So to touch our lower BB, we then have to break our MA 200 on our weekly again. And that's at 32.74 and just slightly rising. 3-day. Now on our 3-day, and again, we're tightening, but not yet there. I'm going to be watching to see how initial touch of our middle Bollinger rejection. We close right on it, and now we're hitting it as resistance. So if this 3-day candle, which we just started this. We have a full 3 more days of this candle here. If this closes below the middle Bollinger, then the target of the lower BB is definitely in play, and that's kind of the low 3K. So this has a couple more days to get that resistance line retested once again. Now our daily, look at that guy there. Okay, so this is interesting here. So we talked about how very tight our Bollingers were yesterday. Okay, so what happened here? We found our initial support, and we did an edge to edge. And I talk about this a lot. When think of the Bollinger Bands as like a highway. Okay, this is our highway. These are the guardrails on either direction. Here's our middle line here. Okay, and this is the car. Okay, these candles are the car, and they get to on the side here. They push out this side. They find support. They're trying to get it through the median line. Initially, they can't, and they can. And if they can, then they're kind of try and bounce around the other guardrail once again, finding support. Now, the car does not like to be outside of the guardrail for very long. This bear break here is an outlier because of how vicious it was after so much sideways stability. But overall, we get the sense that guardrail to guardrail can support the price action. So even with this bear break, we're seeing where our lower guardrail is holding our support, our lower Bollinger for now, as we broke through it intraday. Okay, now our Bollingers are tight right now, okay, which means this can really go in either direction here on the daily. I'd actually like to get them a little tighter. Okay, you see, even with this move here, they didn't move much. Okay, they really didn't expand much, especially if we continue to find supports in this area here and move up a little bit here. That could definitely be something that we can see as the lower BB, truly acting as that support. Same with the 12-hour. Get a little breakthrough at 12-hour. Okay, just like you do here. Price doesn't like to be outside the 12-hour. Okay, price really doesn't like to be outside the 6-hour. Okay, not very long. One candle. This was really bearish here. Okay, but this zone here was so tricky because it was our bottoming area here. Okay, we're not that tight here, and we're going to see our lower Bollinger, which we're still outside of as our 6-hour, actually becoming resistance. So 36.75-ish on the way back up is going to be hitting to get back inside our lower BB. Same with our 4-hour. We know from historicals how many 4-hour candles can be outside the lower Bollinger or the upper Bollinger before it's too extreme. So again, other than our outlier candle situation here, we normally see no more than 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're 5 candles outside of our 4-hour. Okay, unprecedented. Now, I'll give deference to these couple first two because of how super tight we were. We knew this bigger move was coming to be this tight on the 4-hour candle. So I'll give a little deference to the tightness to allow for this expansion of ultra bearishness Also, notice this volume here. A lot of volume. We just closed this candle 8 minutes ago. Very high volume. Okay, yeah, well, obviously it was red. Okay, we did have a little buying support here though. If you're kind of dump, this was the candle to do it. And this again brings us back to our overall area here of that support. So what does this mean now? Let's zoom out now and see what's going on. So our 61.8 acted as support on the 4-hour. We're now back above our 55 and currently finding it as supports here. We see that here. Come on our 1-hour as well. Now, let's do the Fibonacci in a different, let's look at it in a different way, okay? We've already fallen down the mountain, right? We've already fallen down the mountain. Let's say, okay, let's say this was our summit, and let's say for now that this is our base camp. So we're going to say, okay, here's our mountain, and if I want to get back to the summit, which for now is 41.18, which is where we topped off here, okay, how far do I have to climb from now where I am now? So this is my mountain fib until proven otherwise. Until proven otherwise means a lower low of a 35.60. So for now, I'm going to be targeting initially the 326 to climb up to it, 36.91 area. So if our price action can get up to that area, that will be initial strong, I believe, resistance, a little bit sub 3,700, basically showing that initial test of our first fib. Okay, now ideally, we'd like to get back to at least the 382. Note exactly where the 382 is exactly where our previous area of price history was, where we held the price action for just a little bit of time before we had that big break bearishly. All right, so 49 minutes here. It's got about 10 minutes left to go in the show. So with that, I will take your questions and requests. Remember, tips are always appreciated, but not necessary. Miguel Confish would like me to take a look on ADA. No problem, buddy. Let's take a look at ADA. Okay, so remember last night we were talking about the achievement of the 1-to-1 extension, which corresponded with wave 1, 2, and then we were looking for a 3 here. And if it was going to be a larger pattern, we were looking for this to go at least to the 1.1, the 1-to-1, and potentially higher, okay? And what's happened now is this rejection very much confirmed. And because of that, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to redo this from a larger rejection of our overall swing low to now our confirmed swing high. And because of that, this is what we're going to be watching for. And I'm on the Binance, and this is the ADA BTC pairing. Remember that. Let me get rid of my EMAs here. 12.26. Nope. Yes, 200. There we go. Okay. All right. So we have not. Get right there. Remember that this is now. It's gonna be tricky. Okay, it's gonna be tricky to figure out divergences because Bitcoin's drop threw a lot of things out of whack. So where altcoins were bullishly diverging from Bitcoin, a lot of them had a similar to even a larger percentage fall than Bitcoin did. So this is telling us that we really haven't corrected much in this move here, and also could be potentially setting up for some sort of a head and shoulders here. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We have a very defined shoulder here. We have a very defined head, right? And we could potentially be setting up our right shoulder here. And that right shoulder would coincide with the 236 resistance around 1229 Satoshi area. So I'll keep an eye on this here. I wouldn't expect this to go up super quick, but interesting to keep an eye on from the BTC perspective. USDT. Let's look at it in a different perspective here. Now this one here, I bet you the fib is much more reasonable in terms of where it's currently going here. Yep, so look at that. We still have yet to, we crossed the, we haven't hit the 50 yet. We're back testing and we're finding resistance right at the 38.2. See that? So it's a little too fast here. This is still kind of feels like it wants to go lower. And if we get down to something around the 0.037 cents area, similar to Bitcoin, you know, and also, again, it's so interesting to see when this area of the 618 corresponds with the last area of major resistance turns support. Remember, resistance, support, back test held. So there's a lot of history right at 0.36 cents area as well. Okay, Q8 Night Devil XLM. Yeah. So let's look at Lumen here for just a moment. Yeah, interesting. What did I say? XLM, 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 XXXLM. So let's just stick with the USDs. Wow, this was a pullback and a half, wasn't it? Where are we at there? Boom, 786. This is strong. Right at the 786. Stability right now. This should hold for a little bit here. But remember, we climb higher. The 618, we found initial support, broke through it. That's going to be strong resistance. You know, just a little higher there. So this could range in this area here, while Bitcoin finds a little bit of a sense of stability kind of in this area here. Let's see here. Namaste KMD. Sure, take a look at that one. KMD. WKMD in Cincinnati. KMD. There it is. BTC. Yeesh. Wow, talk about a All right, well, first we're going to start. I don't know if I want to go. Yeah, I guess I could go that low. I don't like to do fibs, I guess, that long there. But look at that. Same deal. Right there. After that entire move here. Way swing low, way swing high. Where are we finding this nice support bounce? And look at these wicks here. This is the 1 hour. Okay, these are good looking wicks here. A lot of volume coming in these candles here because it knows, the market knows, 618. Okay, so again, we're finding that oversold support. But as we climb higher, keep in mind the 55, probably at the 50, so 19. So there's a little bit running room here. Okay, but honestly, I still expect lower lows. I still expect lower lows as this corrects. Other than that, I'd also be watching this line here of resistance and potential of some sort of a back test before that. And get back over it, now we're talking. But for now, keep an eye on this line here. If the price action gets back up to it, I think it will find some initial strong resistance. Oh, thank you, sir. Victorious, I appreciate it. Is that €5? That's awesome, buddy. Much appreciated. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it is. It is. All right. So somebody asked me about BCH. So I think I will do BCH and then we'll call it a show. Remember tonight I'll be talking to Cheds. So I'll put out the link for that and we can talk about that. All right. So BCH. Now, I want to start with my daily here on BCH because this thing was such a tight, oops, what the heck just happened there? There we go. Was such a tight pattern. you know, dead stick sideways. Okay, very tight daily candles here. There's our bear break. Now, right now, we're finding that support. Let's see what kind of artwork we have here. Yeah, I got to get rid of all this, don't I? Because that's out of play. Cancel that, 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 cancel that. All right, so what we're finding here, horizontal support, boom, right here, right here. And a lot of it has to do, let me erase that for a second. Look at this candle here. We broke through it, had a big pullback wick, okay? Found support right here at 126 that day. The next day, barely a pullback to 125, and then boom. So there's something about 126 area that's support. And sure enough, today we found support right around 128, okay? Right around root 128. So let's do a fib. Oh, Speedo Smiths, thank you, sir. Will you please update me quickly, BTC? No problem, buddy. I much appreciated tip. €2. I love it. I love it. Wow, right in our golden pocket here area, a little bit under the 61 and right at the 66. God, look at that, to the penny there. So just like Bitcoin, okay, just like some of the alts we were just talking about, the 61.8 is a very powerful Fibonacci ratio retracement. And sure enough, once again, for now, we're finding that support here, okay? Big volume bar, we broke our sideways pattern, but we're finding that support in this key area here. And, you know, always see this break has brought back our RSI a lot, allowing us to range, but still in an areas here. It's like if this bear break took 3 days, you know, I almost feel like we can go lower. But this was really just pull the band-aid off, wasn't it? Big time. And then I want to look at SV, and similarly, similar chart, very tight there. Okay, very tight. Now the fib on this is tricky because this is a brand new coin, right? This is like one of those coins that is still in that zone of what do we call it? Market price discovery. That's the word I'm trying to get out of my butt there. So we're still seeing a market price discovery of what the market feels SV's true value is. You know, because frankly, the market doesn't really know, and this happens a lot with forked coins. The market needs to tell it what it is. Now this obviously has a brother, which is basically yeah, it does. I'm thirsty. I talked a lot today, which is the ABC. So we have to kind of keep those in parallel, and they're still fighting the battle. You know, ABC versus SV. Which one's kind of remain dominant overall here? Though I bet you I could draw. Yeah, see, look at that. There was your thing. There was your basically trend line support. We broke it, and then right there, I was trying to back test it. I couldn't back test it. Kaputs. So now, I kind of have to expand this to there. And for now, this is our triangle support, proven otherwise. Now, obviously, this lower one is still suspect, but our upper one is very clear. And similarly with the back test of Bitcoin there, you know, resistance, another back test of this line is possible as well, you know. So something to keep an eye on. All right, Speedo Smith, let's go back to Bitcoin and then we'll wrap up the show. 113 of my closest friend. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking with me today. Where's Bitcoin? Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin. Okay, so just to recap here, we have found support. There. We have found support on our 618 retrace of our most recent swing low to our most recent swing high, and the pullback of that has found that strong support. We're now trying to climb up the mountain, and that puts these targets for me into play. where we found support, which our current zero line. We climb up the mountain and approaching $3,700. Okay, I'm on the hourly chart here. In the next hours ahead is definitely a possibility. I think a probability, honestly, something like this, something like this. Get back here. Maybe we get our next rejection here. Okay, I still think the market has a chance to go a little higher because of this vicious sell off here. Anybody that got in here too early, okay, trying to crawl up. I don't think we're going to achieve this full candle here. This bear break tells us one thing very important, okay? There's no buyers here. There's no one who wanted to buy 37, mid 36s, okay? So to get back up in any of this area here, it's going to be a struggle and then some, okay? Keep an eye on this. I'm not even saying it can get back up there. I'm not even saying we found our bottom for now, but at least initially, be very surprised if we capitulate much farther in this time frame than where we currently are right now. And lastly, I just want to get a sense from an extension standpoint of this move as to what we're actually talking about. Three, boom. Okay, so let's say that this move is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, where 1, 2, 3, and this is our 3 with a 3, 2, 3, 6 extension, like on the penny. Okay, and now we're in our 4. Now look at our 4 here. Okay, if that was our 2, then our 4 is going to be a lot shorter. Okay, our 2 here is pretty long. Okay, 8. This was a couple days here. Our 4, I do not think will be as long. If this is a long 2, let's say our 4 comes back to somewhere on the 2, 3, 2, 6, 3760, something like that. And then our 5, oops, would have to be denoted on our 3 extension. So here's the deal. Our 3 is definitely extended to 1. Let's say our 4 does come to somewhere around $3,700. I would look for something of a truncated 5, anywhere from the 55 to 618. So somewhere around 3,400 to maybe that 33 area. And if that's the case, I'd be looking kind of in that historical supports. Oh, look at right there. Yeah, look right there. Look at how this area here of support, right there, held strong. And that coincides right here between our 50 and 55. So if this is our 5-wave structure coming down, I still think we probably have a little bit more running room to potentially get to 37, okay? But I would not be surprised if we get one more leg down after that, after this move here. If this is a 5, yeah, there's no way this is I mean, 1, 2, no, there's no, unless this is some crazy, this doesn't feel right. This 3, 4 is just too quick. 5, yeah, that's too quick. I don't like that. I'm thinking this was a 3. I think we're still in our 4. I think we can get to around 3,700, and then our 5 should put us somewhere in this zone here, 34s, maybe the 33s. And then from there, might be interested in looking at another longs, depending upon where we are, and time-wise too. I'm not saying this is going to happen the 19th. Time on this structure is subjective, but I'm pretty sure this longer 2 makes for a shorter 4, unless we do the reverse and make a very long 4. But I still think we're going to get a short 5 though, because this is a really long 3. So I don't think we're done yet, but I don't think we're done falling yet, but I don't think we're done rising after this move yet. It's because of the supports we have at the 618. Whew. For so far, I'm sorry, buddy. I did not know that. All right, guys, listen. It's been a solid hour. I'm a little hoarse right now, and I'm very thirsty. So I'm gonna get something to drink, and I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. Always appreciate the tips, appreciate the love. I give love, I get love. I love it. Thank you so much. Until next time, we'll be in touch. And listen, don't go crazy here. You know, this is an example here where a stop loss is a necessity. If you were in a long up here and you went to bed, you got a snack, you use the bathroom, you come back, and then boom, the market just falls out here. Okay, this is why we need to protect ourselves. And the key to being a successful trader over the long term is capital management, capital preservation. If you lose your bankroll, you're out of the game. Don't try and make the big win all in one score. Okay, slow and steady can definitely win the race. Until the next time, it's Big Chonis. Please reach out to me if you're interested in my mentoring. You can get a lot done in an hour. Many of my students have signed up for multiple sessions because they want to learn more. We can do a lot in an hour. We can do a lot in 3 hours. And I do offer discounts for multiple packages as well. Other than that, until next time, guys, Big Chonis. Love you all. Peace.